What's up, YouTube fans? Welcome back to the AJ Speed Shop YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be doing my next installment of my vehicle showcase series. But today I'm going to have a bit of a spin on it. Today I'm going to showcase a twofer. I'm going to put both of my sport bikes in this video. Wanted to kind of do a mix with the channel content, and I'm equally as into sport bikes as I am classic cars and sports cars. So I thought I would take this opportunity to show you guys my bikes, kind of describe what they're about and why I'm doing a motorcycle video. Now I know what everybody's thinking. Not another sport bike video. There's sport bike videos all over YouTube. A lot of roll racing, a lot of meets and stuff like that. And I love all those videos myself. And I've shot a bunch of those videos myself. But today, I'm not really getting into those. This is just gonna be a showcase video to describe my two old bikes. And what I mean by old bikes is mine are what I consider somewhat collectible. They're very antiquated, very out of date, and they do not compete with any modern sport bike by any stretch of the imagination. But they are both cool in their own ways, I think. So I'm gonna do these videos kind of an individual sequence on each one and then tie it all together and see what you guys think. Let me know if you like the videos and what do you think about the motorcycles? Tell me if they were worthy of putting them on the channel. Let's get started on each one. Okay guys, first one up today is my 2000 Hayabusa. And I actually purchased this motorcycle new in February of 2000. So I have owned this motorcycle for right at 23 years. And it's been through many builds, many different incarnations. I've raced it a lot through the years. Hundreds and hundreds of passes down the drag strip, a few passes down the Texas Mile. And the bike has just been a lot of fun, and it's really a part of me. This is one of those items that I could never sell. And even though it's way outdated and really could use a lot of updates and modernization to make it compete with modern bikes, I kind of like it how it is. I kind of like it with the old school stuff. I built this bike myself back in 2009, and the current configuration on it is basically, it's the original engine. It's a rod and piston engine with studs, good valve springs. It has an RCC Stage 2 turbo kit with secondary injectors. It has an air-to-air intercooler from MC Express. And the bike makes 320 horsepower on pump 93 and is made 435 horsepower on C16. And like I said, it's really old school. The bike's real heavy. It's got boxes on top of boxes to do everything we need to do. It's still running the original 2000 model ECU. So it's very antiquated, but it gets the job done. So let me just do a quick walk around. I did a full restoration on the bike back in 2018. We repainted it. It's not the factory color. This is actually House of Colors cobalt candy blue shot over the factory Suzuki silver. I tried to replicate the factory Suzuki paint scheme and decals as close as I could, but we just wanted to use a color that popped a little bit more and stood out a little bit more than the dark blue did. And I've been pretty happy with it. Let me do a quick walk around and let you guys take a look. Currently, the bike is sitting at about 63-inch wheelbase. Primarily, this bike is a street bike for me. You see, it's at stock height. I still go ride twisties with it. I do some roll race stuff with it. Haven't done a lot of drag racing with it. I haven't actually made a pass on this bike in about 10 years. My last pass on it, it had gone an 868 at 168 miles an hour on pump 93 on about 14 pounds of boost. And that was before I had a boost controller on it. So it was kind of a bear to ride. But it was okay. Back in March of 2009, I took the bike to the Texas Mile where we ran a best of 225.906 miles an hour. That was on about 17 pounds of boost, about 340 horsepower. And we ran out of gear. I kind of underestimated how much gearing I needed to do that. And I never made it back. I always had intentions of going back and turning the bike up more and using a lot taller gearing, but I just haven't done it. All in all, it's been a very reliable bike. It's got 41,330 original miles on it. Original gauge cluster, everything is all still intact. Like I said, you see a lot of boxes, a lot of switches. It's a lot of old school stuff. It's just how we had to do stuff back then before the modern ECUs came out and the standalone ECUs came out. But I've got the stuff on there that I need to make it work, and it does the job. But the bike is very heavy. I haven't weighed it, but there's no weight reduction. It actually has 2 batteries in it. There's another battery up in the nose of the bike and a chromoly battery box, and there's basically no weight reduction. So this thing probably weighs every bit of 580 pounds or more if I was to take a guess. It had, most recently, in the last couple of years, I started with the invention of the Draggy. I started getting out and playing with the Draggy with it. And the best I've done on the Draggy was a 335 on the 60 to 130 and a 290 on the 100 to 150. That was with me suited up at 225 pounds. And it spun pretty bad. All my Draggy videos are on my channel. So after you watch this video, if you're interested, please go back and check those Draggy videos. They're there. You can see how bad it was spinning the tire. And just had a hard time really bringing the boost in soon enough. There's a little bit of boost lag until it hits, and then it blows the tire off. So it's kind of tough to ride. I know with some further tweaking, I can probably get it in the 290s or so on pump gas boost levels. But it's probably something I'm going to visit this year. But just with all the car stuff, I just haven't had time to mess with this thing. Does have an AMS 1000 for boost control. It runs on CO2. CO2 also runs the air shifter. And everything works pretty well. It's not as smooth or fluid as I would like it to be, but it does the job for an old school, old tank. I would love to put a standalone ECU in it, like a Max ECU or something like that, or maybe a Fuel Tech, but it's one of those things. It's kind of on the back burner. I got too much stuff going on with my cars to really mess with it too much. And the next bike that's going to be coming up after this one, I've got a project already scheduled for this year. So that's going to kind of put this thing further on the back burner. But I did take it out last year and went and did some roll racing with some of the local guys. And I got drilled pretty good by one of them. And so I was curious if the bike was hurt. So I took it over to one of the local shops here in town and threw it on the dyno. And it still made the same power that it made back in 2009. The bike made, I think it made 315 on pump gas boost level, right around 14 pounds. And we just turned it up on the dyno real quick to about 25 pounds, and it made right at 400. So the power is still there, even though the engine's got a ton of miles. It's probably got about 15,000 miles on this build and hundreds of passes. So it still makes power. It's just the bike is heavy, and I'm heavy. And it's just not competitive with today's bikes. It would need to have a lot of stuff changed to make it really competitive with the leader bikes today that are running in the 290 range on the 60 to 130. But it's one of those things. Everything's there to do it. I just gotta devote the time and attention to it to set it up to really do that stuff. But all in all, it's a fun bike. I've done a lot of stuff with it. I've made a lot of road trips and really just had a great time with this thing. So if you guys have any questions or anything, please comment below. And if you, let me know what you think about it. Let me know what you think about an old dinosaur 2000 model bike that I bought new, that I've built several times myself and tuned it myself, done everything with it myself out of my little garage here. And let me know what you think. Thanks for watching this one. Okay, the next one up is my 2001 GSXR1000. Now this is probably my favorite bike of all time. And this one is actually my second one of these. I had one of these back in 07, from 07 to 2013. And I love the bike, raced it, did everything you could imagine with the bike. Road trips, road twisties, all the fun stuff. And I caught the new bike bug back in 2013, and I bought a BMW S1000RR. And I never liked the BMW as much as I liked the 1000, the old 1000. So after about 7 years, I sold the BMW and went on the hunt for another black and silver 2001 1000. And I searched for 3 years, almost 3 years, trying to find one in mint condition. And I actually was tagged on Facebook to Chris Moore from Moore Mafia in North Carolina. And he had this model come in, and this bike had 1,200 original miles on it. It was basically a museum piece that got traded in for a new Hayabusa. And as soon as I found out about it, I instantly bought it over the phone. And my wife and I hopped in the truck and went to North Carolina to pick this thing up. This bike was beautiful. It's perfect. It had 1,200 original miles. It did have some modifications on it, some minor bolt-on stuff that I wasn't crazy about that I've since removed. But this is a most perfect example of a 2001 GSXR. It does have a few modifications that I did keep on there. It's got an undertail. It's got a tire hugger. It's got an Olean shock on it. Everything else that was modified on it, I pretty much put back to stock. Other than the exhaust system, it had a slip-on on it. And I went on the quest to find a period correct full titanium Akrapovic full system. And believe it or not, I found this exhaust system brand new in the box from 2003 in Greece. And I was able to contact the owner of this pipe in Greece, and we worked out a deal, and then I shipped that pipe from Greece here to the States. I felt it was a must-have to have a period correct full exhaust system on this bike that matched. And the pipe was perfect. It was brand new in the box. And I put it on the bike, and it's exactly how it's supposed to be. So this is a premium example of basically a bone stock bike with a pipe that's period correct. I did put a little bit taller windscreen on it. It's got a double bubble windscreen on it. It's got some LED bulbs in it. But basically everything can be put back to stock on this bike. I've got the original exhaust system. I've got everything that I can put this bike back to stock with. So I absolutely love these things. And I've got a plan for this one. And it's going to remain period correct to the T, except we are going to warm it up a bit. And I'm actually pulling the motor out of it in May. And we are going to build a motor for this thing to make it have more modern levels of power, but still look and sound period correct. Let me show you this odometer on this thing. I haven't since rode, get over here out of the light. I have rode the bike about 500-600 miles since I bought it from Chris Moore. Currently it has, if you guys can make it out there, 1,692 miles. And it'll probably end up at about 2,000 or so miles before I pull the engine out. Did put a gear indicator on there because this one doesn't have one from the factory. But we are going to be doing a 1070 motor for this thing with a ported head and webcams. And we're going to put 1mm oversized valves in it and try to see if we can get this thing to make somewhat close to modern sport bike power levels. I'd like to make 180, 185 on pump gas and still look exactly how it looks right now. And the bike's going to remain stock height, stock length. We're not making a drag bike out of it. We're not hacking the bike up. It's going to look exactly how it looks right now, only with about probably 40 more horsepower. I'm pretty heavy. I'm about 225 suited. So the 150 wheel horsepower this thing makes is just, it's not enough. I did go out and play with it on the draggy, and it did go a 530 on the draggy, which I was kind of surprised it went that good. And that was before I put the quick shifter and the exhaust and stuff on it. But
we'll see. I would like to get it down in the possibly in the mid fours, 450 or so range with the new motor in it at my weight, and still look exactly how it looks right now. But I just think this thing is just a perfect example of a bike that revolutionized sport bikes back in 2001. I mean, when this thing dropped, it took the R1 off the throne, and the R1 had been killing everything at that point, from 99 and 2000. And this thing just came out and just slaughtered the R1. On my old 1000, I had set up exactly like this one. I ran 990s at 142 with that one back in 08, 09. And I was quite a bit lighter then, but and it wasn't a full drag setup by any stretch, but there has been a lot of guys that have gone bottom nines with these things with, a full setup with air shifters and lowering the bike down and gearing them real low for drag racing and stuff, and lighter riders. But I'm not doing all that with this thing. I just want to make a nice, fun street bike that's great in the twisties. Still, you can do road trips and stuff with, and still be fast enough to go do a little bit of roll racing with it. It's never going to be competitive with a modern bike, but it will be, at least it won't embarrass itself if we put another 40 or 50 horsepower in it. Hopefully. But this thing is just immaculate everywhere. It literally is a brand new motorcycle. You absolutely cannot find a cleaner example of one of these bikes anywhere. Because I've been looking. I've been searching for 3 years to find one of these that are this clean and unmolested. Perfect anodized still on the frame, perfect bodywork, perfect wheels, nothing painted. Luckily, the previous owners just left it alone. Just an absolutely beautiful bike. Still has the coating on the forks, which we all know that wears off really fast. I did have, before I took it home from Chris Moore, I had those guys slap some new Pilot Road 6 tires on it because it still had the original 2001 tires on it. When I picked it up, it had, I believe, 1,230 miles on it and had the original 22-year-old tires still on it. So I didn't even test ride it. I just rolled it into the shop. I had them put some new tires on it, and I loaded it on the trailer, and I took it home. Let me fire this sucker up and let you take a listen to what an old dinosaur sounds like. Full titanium Kropovich race exhaust system. It's just barely started turning blue. I haven't even made enough pulls on it to really make it turn blue yet. This bike is an absolute cream puff. And I know what a lot of people are thinking and asking themselves, why are you going to do the motor? Why are you going to touch a perfect bike? And I agree with you. However, I'm pretty heavy. The bike needs a little bit more power. And this is AJ Speed Shop. It's what we do here. We don't leave anything stock. We keep it stock looking, but we don't keep it stock. So anyway, in closing, let me know what you think about these old dinosaurs. Leave me some messages in the comments. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them for me there. Got these two old birds here. Before long, probably this summer after I do the engine, we'll do a full engine showcase on that, of the engine build on the 1000. Dyno videos, draggy testing, probably do some motor vlogs with it. Gonna have some fun stuff coming up at the end of this summer and into the fall with this one. Couple old dinosaurs. Sisters of the time. Anyway, if you made it this long to the end of this video, I certainly appreciate it. I appreciate all the great feedback that I've been getting on my videos this far. I know the bike stuff is a little different than what I normally do, but I kind of wanted to mix the channel up, get something out there for all my buddies. So please, leave me some messages, click the like, and if you're not already subscribed, please click that subscription button. Thanks a lot for checking out my channel, and I will catch you on the next one.